From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to The Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Name that tune.
What the hell is that?
That's Jeremy's band.
Oh, Jeremy, who was here on Sunday.
Garbo. That's right.
What a great song.
Yeah, our guest host on Sunday, Jeremy, is in a band, Garbo, Garbeau. And I bought that song right there for $20 to thank him for all of the hard work that he did on Sunday's show. Vinny's appalled. I haven't paid him $20 and God only knows how long. But hey, you can check it out, everybody. Garbo. Forgot the name of the song. Total Bust.
Oh.
Just like the show.
Apropos.
It is.
Is a perfect song for the show. All right, so speaking of guest hosts, we've got another guest host on today, and his name is Aaron, and he is from the 408 area code, so he's on the West Coast. Not too bad here today. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing as well. Brian, how you guys doing?
Not too bad. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get going here today. A man who desired to be on the Tuesday Retro Show and voluntarily watched 3 hours of Nitro and 2 hours of Raw in order to do this.
Can you believe it?
No. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe anyone would want to. But tell us about yourself.
Me? I am I'm a store manager for a local supermarket over here in California. Married, no kids. Just go about my day doing my stuff. Work 12 hours a day.
Ooh,
you know?
Man.
Hey, it's what happens when you run a store, right, guys?
Actually, we all gasp, but I think every single one of us does 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day, yeah.
It sounded terrible when he said
I'm really
it.
gassing out my feet, not his.
Then I started doing the math. Yeah. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for doing the donation to Whale Scout, and we'll talk more about you as we get going here today. It'll be Retro, Raw, Nitro, so as always, just jump in. I asked him before the show if he had anything he wanted to plug, and he had nothing. So hopefully by the end of the show, he can come up with something that we can plug here on the air.
We've got 60 minutes.
But hey, I'm going to plug something, everybody. So last week on this show, I announced the video service, video.f4wonline.com.
Has it only been a week?
It's only been a week.
Okay.
Video.f4wonline.com. If you want to know everything, I'm not going to repeat the whole story. You can just listen to last week's Bryan and Vinny Show. But I did say, if this was a success, we would add more. And if it was a failure, we would quit. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been a success. And so Thursday, the cameras are back on. We will now be providing the Tuesday and Thursday Bryan and Vinny Show. Mm-hmm. We will not have a webcam on Granny. Just want to get that out of the way first. Maybe we'll have a photograph of her that we'll kind of jump to every time whenever she's talking.
Dude, you can put a photograph right here.
Yeah, we could get like a blow-up doll and put her head on it or something like that.
No.
That's that's
maybe
so
not that,
creepy.
but anyway.
You cut the mouth out.
No.
But yeah, she'll be on the show as always, and it'll be a video show. So if you subscribe, you don't have to utilize the doll, Vinny. Okay. It's just going to be sitting there.
No, he probably will need to utilize it.
If you sign up.
I've never used one. I'm just...
Brian, continue.
Yeah.
If you sign up at video.f4wonline.com, you will get 9 shows a month. We have the Tuesday Bryan and Vinny Show, the Thursday Bryan and Vinny Show, and the post-pay-per-view recaps. And hey, if it grows from here, we'll add Sunday. So... want to thank everybody who signed up. Boy, do I want to thank everybody who signed up, as Tony would as well, even though he won't sell it and or acknowledge it.
If Tony was capable of expressing human emotion, he'd be very grateful.
And also thank you for all of the feedback, the constructive criticism, and the non-constructive criticism as well, which Vinny got sucked into on the board the other day. But
don't do that.
Things happen.
That's bad to do that.
All right, with all that rigmarole out of the way, Vinny, let's get started on Raw. This could take a while. I'm sorry, Nitro.
I was going to say.
I don't want to screw this up for everybody.
WCW Monday Nitro number 177, February 1st, 1999.
Hey, listen, before we go any further, Aaron, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
31.
31 years old. When did you start watching wrestling?
I probably started watching when I was a kid, probably about 5 or 6.
Oh.
So I've been watching off and on for the last 25 years.
So did you watch these Raw and Nitro shows when they originally aired in some form?
Only the Raws. I stopped watching Nitro probably about 95, 96-ish.
Oh, really?
So
Wow. You
as
gave
soon
it
as it was on.
Yeah, you gave it a year during its best period.
Hey, come on now. I went with the good stuff.
Well, that's
Boy.
true. I think that's true. We'll determine that as we review Raw here. I'm never really
Is there
sure.
good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there was.
So, great
It was good
irritation.
back then.
Well, right back then it was very popular. It's questionable today why it was, but it certainly was. So, all
Holy shit.
right, Vinny, Nitro.
So, I always have tech problems with the Nitro. It's always buffering on me. New one this week. I go to click play, and it's just a blank screen. I try this 3 or 4 times. I try open a new window. It's just a blank screen. But if I click add episode to watch list and then go to my watch list, then I could watch it. That pissed me off. Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham arrived at the building. They are in the tag team tournament. And they want to win the tournament and get those tag team belts. Why? Because then they get a match with Hall and Nash. Because the tag team championships are being brought back only because the winner gets a shot at Hall and Nash. The belts themselves are meaningless,
Yep, the birth of the West Texas Rednecks, basically, right here.
more or less.
Yeah.
They showed a video from earlier the day.
This was the fucking funniest video. Was this not? Let me just jump forward a little bit. The first 10 minutes of the show, has there ever been a show where in 10 minutes they had more stupid videos? Like, ever?
That's not really fair.
I think it's more like 45
so
minutes.
many stupid fucking videos in the first 10 minutes of the show, starting with this one.
So the Nitro girls are rehearsing when Scott Steiner comes out to fuck them. And as Kimberly is trying to get away, she trips over one of the other Nitro girls who's down
man.
on her hands and knees
Vinny,
behind her.
you're killing it already. Steiner comes out, okay? He grabs Kimberly by the arm, and he basically says, I'm here for you.
Right.
I'm here for you.
Exactly.
Let's go fuck. Okay? I'm doing this as a favor.
Right.
She says no. She yanks her arm away from him for some fucking reason, which I should have gone back to figure out why.
Right.
There's a Nitro girl on her knees behind Kimberly.
I have so
Why?
many thoughts running through my head right now.
She trips over this girl, a legit schoolboy,
Yeah.
and falls and goes, ugh, and sells it like she's dead.
She's out.
Right?
She sells it like a gunshot. Steiner
Unconscious.
Yeah, she's out.
says, I never touched her, and he flees. And the other Nitro girls and a tech guy or something, they all kneel over Kimberly while still managing to show zero concern at all whatsoever. So that's what happened.
This was hilariously bad. Like, astonishingly bad.
Well, speaking of astonishingly bad, Mean Gene calls out K-Dog and Rey Mysterio Jr. One, Ray is still wearing the LWO shirt. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The Angle was killed, except Ray, who never wanted to be part of the group, won't let it die.
And he still hasn't washed it because it's still the same size.
Dude,
So-
you could watch that 100 times. It's going to be big on Ray.
So I think it's actually getting smaller.
I know
So-
that as a small man.
So Ray talks about growing up watching Kevin and Lex. And he showed up in WCW for the first time and, quote, they showed that love to me. They guided me through. They gave me respect. He lawn darted you into the side of a building.
That's literally the last time we saw them together.
Yes.
So what
fuck's-
the fuck is he talking
Like, in
about?
all seriousness, Ray, at this period here in February of 99, he is being booked worse by WCW than he was as world champion in WWE.
Hey, listen.
At least he wasn't an idiot there. He just got beat up a lot. So he said he beat Lex. Conan said, in wrestling, you don't need to be 6'5" and 300 pounds anymore. He would make those strawberries bow down. And they challenged Nash and Luger to a tag match with Ray's mask against Nash's hair or Luger's hair or Elizabeth's hair. And that was it. And they left.
So to recap, these two dumb shit baby faces have offered to put Rey Mysterio's mask on the line in a match against Kevin Nash and Lex Luger. They have offered to do this in a cage. They have offered to put their careers on the line. They've offered to put Rey's mask on the line. The baby faces have offered this.
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, what do you make of all of this?
Yeah, I really couldn't remember any of this stuff from watching this. And I know where this is going. And the stuff about the booking of Rey Mysterio, I know it just gets a whole lot worse.
Oh.
But I think something that K-Dog or Conan or whatever they call him now, he said something along the lines of, attacking Rey Mysterio is like robbing a bank, but before you leave, you shoot the teller, but he also happens to be in a wheelchair.
Yes.
I don't know if that was like burying him or what's going on now. If he's just trying to say that he's really short or weak, I don't get that. I don't know what he was talking about.
It was
man.
a weird comparison. He goes, it's cool to rob a bank, and it's cool to shoot the teller, unless he's in a wheelchair. Then you're a coward.
I won't lie.
That's what Conan said.
I caught maybe 20% of what Conan was talking about, so I
What Conan is saying is that Ray is small, therefore he's handicapped.
He's being bullied, even
Sure.
though he's a wrestler and
defend
challenging
himself.
for this. Yeah. Oh, here's another skit. Oh, here we go.
I liked these ones though.
Vince is at the rental place at the airport.
Well, the whole B teamers.
All of the NWO B team geeks. So he comes back and he explains to them, there's no rental cars.
Every rental car
There's not one rental
from
car.
every agency at the airport in Minneapolis is gone.
Not only that, but there's no reservations either.
No.
Brian Adams, who has never done one single good thing on the show, finally does when he demands to know, where are the Tauruses?
Where's our Tauruses at?
Where are the Tauruses?
Which is funny
Want my
because
Taurus.
they should really have Brian Adams call and make the reservation. Hi, this is Brian Adams. Oh, the guy from Canada that sings.
I don't think it's that easy, Craig.
That was
I
a
bet it
timely
is.
joke in 1999.
So Stevie goes to handle the situation.
I'm going to run to you.
He comes back.
Don't cut me like a knife.
He says, my talk with Hulk Hogan was a success. My buddy's got us hooked up. And he's got a limo. He is delivered.
Yes.
And so they go to get in the limo, but they will not let Vince ride with them.
There's not enough room. Somebody's got to go. And they all kick Vince out.
There's not enough room in a limousine for Vince.
No.
Even let him ride shotgun.
He was going to ride shotgun. One of them said, this isn't driving Miss Daisy. Get out. So that limo leaves. Vince calls Nash.
This is incredible.
Yes.
Vince calls Nash and says, I need a ride. Nash says, I'll be right there. 3 seconds later.
Literally, he's still on the phone.
Yes.
Oh, you'll be right here? Shh, there's the limo.
There he is.
Yes.
They totally don't care. It's complete bullshit.
It's almost like the limo was just out of the shot.
Yeah.
Then it rolled in the
Well,
shot.
it was.
pull in.
Physically, it would have to be.
They say, Vince, get in. And they invite Vince in and they pull away. Nitro Girls sans Kimberly danced.
She's unconscious.
Yep.
Still.
Ric Flair had Eric Bischoff in a dunk tank in the parking lot outside at night in Minneapolis in January.
Well, he hadn't got him in there yet. He's dragging him out of the building. And maybe I misheard this, but Rick says, I'm in charge now for 57 more days. And Eric says, 58.
I don't know. Don't look at me for an answer. I
Why
don't
would
know.
Eric say, it's actually longer, Rick?
Mr. President?
You have control over me for an extra day. Well, don't get this wrong. So yeah, Flair wants him in a dunk tank outside the Target Center in 28-degree weather in Minneapolis in January. And Eric says, I don't want to do it. And Flair says, I didn't want to wrestle Kurt Hennig a few months ago, but I did it anyway. Get your ass in this dunk tank.
Pretty sure he volunteered for that, by the way.
And Bischoff says, fine, I will do it, but I will get my revenge later. And by the way, where's your son?
Yes. Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham versus Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko in a tag team tournament match.
I don't think it was.
What?
I thought it was.
I thought it was too.
Me too.
But then the Observer said the planned tournament final was Benoit Malenko versus...
Well,
Oh, Vinny's going to explain this.
as the announcer said this last week, and I forgot to mention it, for some reason, this is now a double elimination tournament.
I see.
Because
Why?
apparently just to guarantee that WCW fucks it up. This company can never get anything right, especially tournaments. So make it a double elimination to make it more complicated to ensure a fuck up.
Huh.
Now, Barry Windham, in preparation for this match, he got out of the limo, went to the locker room, took off his shirt, taped his wrists, and put his jean jacket back on and walked to the ring.
Not just that, he put on a knee brace and then pulled his jeans on over the knee brace.
And he kept his street shoes on. He was wearing heels on his boots.
Can we talk about how
So
it was
many
actually like
questions
a
about
really
this.
good match?
Of course it was.
I mean, that's what I
That was
got out of
good.
this.
Shouldn't surprise anyone.
This match was awesome.
So,
Benoit Malenko versus Hennig and Wyndham.
of course it's awesome.
No, Vinny. Like, Wyndham has been hit and miss. Hennig is hit and miss.
Well, it is 99.
Benoit and Malenko are great, but like everybody was great in this match, and they had a great tag team match.
Sure.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
And it broke down into a four-way. Wyndham hit a superplex on Malenko and made a cover, but they were not the legal men. So Benoit hits the diving headbutt on Wyndham to break it up, even though they're not the legal man. That was a mistake on his part, as Hennig hits Benoit with a fisherman suplex for the win. A very fun tag match.
It was awesome. 2 thumbs up. 8 on the granny scale.
Very good.
J.J. Dillon took 5 throws to get Eric Bischoff into the dunk tank, and this made La Parka happy.
Actually, he missed 4 times, and then Eric just fell in the water anyway. Because
This-
it was a gimmick dunk tank.
If I'm being honest, yeah, this dunk tank was very poorly operated. There's sometimes they'd hit the target, nothing would happen. Sometimes you just fall in without a ball even being thrown.
Because it was fake.
But not faked badly, is my point.
Well, yeah.
It could have been faked a lot better.
Yes, easily. The Wolfpack arrived at the building. The B-teamers were already there since they had left at the same time. Nash was very stunned to see the B-teamers had their own limo. So Stevie Ray stooges off Vince, and then Vince gets out of the Wolfpack's limo. They had the least intense face-off you ever saw, and Scott Norton made peace when it was already pretty peaceful. They go to the break, and they come back. The B-teamers are heading into their locker room, and Stevie Ray's bitching, "We're not going to have any food. We're not going to have any drinks." And they turn the corner. There's women there.
Yeah. And you know what the women say? And I quote, "Hi, black and white guys."
Brazzers.
And then somebody, and I don't know who, mentions Jungle Fever right as they cut away.
I did hear that. Yeah.
1999.
I'm trying to figure out if that's more offensive than what we heard on Raw.
Not even close.
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway. Mean Gene brings
So
Flair.
before you go any further, Vinny, let's just recap. The NWO B team walks into a locker room, and there's a bunch of strippers.
No, we don't know that.
That's
Well, they had
fair.
no clothes on, so I
evening
mean,
gowns.
pretty good. No.
Flimsy.
One of them was in lingerie.
All right.
Okay.
One.
They say, "Hi, black and white guys."
Sure.
There's a Jungle Fever comment, and we
Right.
cut away. Okay.
That's what happened.
All right.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that we got that.
Mean Gene brings Flair out for a promo. At this point, Flair's probably very depressed about not being in the B team.
I think he was drunk.
Oh, come on now.
Dude, Flair has great delivery, but like he was all over the place in this promo.
I just remember when he called Vince Virgil. He listed a list of great wrestlers and said, "I will never look like you, Hogan, but I can tie you in a knot. I will do or die at the pay-per-view."
I loved when he mentioned Hulk Hogan's physique and he mentioned hot stuff. Anybody remember hot stuff?
Eddie Gilbert.
No.
No. It was a thing that they
Donna
had.
Summer?
This was in the 90s because Buddy had it all the time. It was the stuff that you sprayed on your body. And it would like open up the capillaries,
Yeah.
and so your skin turned a little bit red, and
Yes.
so you looked tanner.
Yes.
Hot stuff. What a blast from the past that was.
So Flair announces Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit for the U.S. title at the Super Brawl. At this point in Disco Inferno, when Scott Hall interrupt, Hall says, "I should be the top contender for that U.S. title." Benoit comes out to debate the point. He threatened to, quote, "introduce my foot to your brown eye."
That's what he said.
If you ever
That's
wonder,
what Chris Benoit said in this promo.
back in the day, we all wondered why Chris Benoit was not a main eventer. That's why. That one line kept him out of the main event for years. A brawl broke out. The Horsemen won, and Flair booked Benoit versus Hall for tonight.
Hey, Aaron, are you in San Jose?
Yeah.
You ever run into Big Dave around town?
Boy, I wish so, but I think he stays pretty secluded.
Well, he does stay pretty secluded, but like he's never been to your grocery store?
No, I don't think they're in the same area.
Oh man.
There's more than one grocery store in San Jose.
It's crazy.
How can that be?
It's out of control. Man.
No.
I was just wondering, you had the 408 number, and so does Dave. So, small world. Maybe you guys.
Oh, I know.
Maybe they met at Small World.
Do you think, Brian, if he knew Dave Meltzer, he'd need to make a donation to Whale Scout to get on the show?
Maybe. I don't know. He's doing it because of the good of his heart.
He just go to
Vinny.
Dave's house.
He's doing it out of the good of his heart.
Van Hammer versus Kenny Chaos.
Oh, boy.
The announcers
Oh,
acknowledged
can I mention, by the way, that this aired head-to-head with the start of Raw?
Van Hammer versus Kenny Chaos?
Yeah. This was the head-to-head
Awesome.
segment. The first one of the evening.
How strange.
Chaos versus fucking Van Hammer.
Yeah. The announcers acknowledged the death of Giant Baba. Talked about all he had done for the sport.
Larry actually put Giant Baba over,
Yes.
to which Mike Tenay said, quote, legendary in the Orient.
Yes.
Mike Tenay.
So, earlier, Scott Dickinson, the suspended ref, had been shown in the crowd. As soon as this match begins, they cut to Dickinson. He gets up and walks out.
Yeah,
He's not
fled.
going to stick around
No.
for Chaos and Hammer.
Let's see, I can throw balls at Bischoff or I can watch this fucking match.
So, doing this match, out strolls the Sandman. He
Well,
has-
out scrolls
A man.
a guy who they haven't come up with a name yet
No,
before.
no.
Even though he's on fucking national television.
Right.
Yep.
So a fucking entire match takes place and they have nothing to call this guy.
This man, this guy,
This
this
man,
fella.
this guy.
When he walked out, he's got like jeans and a sweatshirt on. He's carrying his kendo stick and he has fake barbed wire wrapped around him.
Yeah.
He
Why?
just strolls on down the aisle.
He's extreme, Brian.
And
fucking
Tony,
stupid.
Tony stops and he says, I have no idea who that man is. I guarantee you that was a shoot. He literally had no idea someone was going to come out. And when this guy came out, Tony had no idea who he was.
Who is that fan wrapped in barbed wire?
I was reading The Observer for this show and Dave wrote that Sandman came out with a new physique.
That's true.
I was like, what was his old physique?
Fatter.
Well, he got a little bigger.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, yeah.
He looked horrible.
Yes.
I guess I'm used to like Sandman in
Dude,
2017.
you need to go back
It
and
was
watch 1997 Sandman.
Early
for
lead.
many reasons.
Well, I remember him. I just
He did lose his gut, but
Yes.
he gained a lot of.
wow.
Well, his head's bigger. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So he comes out here. Hammer wins the match with an Alabama slam. And Sandman gets to the ring and just whacks everybody with a stick. And he goes to cut a promo.
Yeah, because a promo, right? He challenges Bam Bam
That's
Bagalo.
what he said. He said, I'm the first man who did a no ropes barbed wire match. Bullshit.
Not true.
I'm the first man to use a barbed wire baseball bat. The first guy to do a barbed wire dive off a cage through a table. What a strange thing to boast about.
That's history.
He called out Bam Bam Bagalo, and they go to break. And he did correct himself, by the way. So it's not that he got the name wrong. I mean, he did work with him for years in the ECW, I guess. Anyway, we got Bam Bam Bigelow versus this guy.
In his debut,
Yeah.
his first ever match
He doesn't even have a name.
in World Championship Wrestling.
By the way, they had a long time to come up with a name,
Months.
and he was Hack.
Well, that was his actual legit nickname.
Hack.
Yeah.
Well, let's also keep in mind
I didn't give it to him.
he's been on the show now for at least a month. He was Raven's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim.
That's
Jim,
right.
that's right. Raven's friend Jim.
I guess they didn't want
Why
to say, hey, it's Jim.
Why didn't well, it could have been
Why
Raven's
has he got
friend
barbed
Jim.
wire around
Raven's
him?
friend Jim, hailing from wherever, New Jersey.
Sure.
So, 100% of his offense was hitting Bam Bam with a stick. Bam
Let's cut
comes
to the
back,
chase.
wraps a chair around his head.
Bam Bam beat his ass and pinned him in the middle of the ring.
That's what happened.
In his fucking debut.
Yep. Greetings to Asbury Park was the.
He used his own barbed wire against him, hit a headbutt, and the pile driver onto a chair and pinned him.
Aaron, did you ever watch ECW?
Oh, I would watch a tiny bit in 99-ish, but it just wasn't my thing.
Not your thing.
No.
So I presume this match here was also not your thing?
It was boring. You know, it's just you watch it, and you watch it from 2018 to back then. It's like, okay, another chair shot to the head. Well, that's nice. Oh, what's he going to do? He's going to throw him into the barbed wire, and he just bounces off of it. You know?
That did happen.
Fake.
It was very fake barbed wire. Which I shouldn't complain. You know what I mean?
No.
Complain, but it's like, come on. He comes out there and there's, oh, he's so dangerous. He looks like he's wearing a chain fence or something like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this was a fail.
Give him a name.
Back at the dunk tank, you could see Bischoff's breath at this point. He actually was falling in water in freezing weather.
Yeah.
A cameraman threw like 2,000 baseballs. Some hit the target. They went to commercial. Bischoff never fell in. The shittiest damn dunk tank.
And then they come back and Scott Dickinson dunks him.
Later, yeah.
Yeah.
Luger Liz video package. This was not live. It was pre-taped, pre-produced, presumably pre-mixed. Liz was so quiet I had to crank up the volume to hear anything she said. There's a reason she didn't talk for like 10 years.
Right.
So
You think they were dating at this time?
I'm thinking it was around this time, but
Thinking so as well.
I don't remember exactly when it was.
she said it was great to be a part of an elite group like the NWO. And Lex runs down all of Goldberg's assets, but says he's no total package, and laying Goldberg out had been the greatest moment of his career. Let's see. Scott Dickinson hit the dunk tank. The cameraman missed Eric Bischoff going into the drink. Dallas Page arrived. Of course, his wife had been taken out earlier that afternoon. Tossed to Kidman, gets the scoop, storms into the NWO locker room, slams the door behind him. But
What a stooge.
Kidman? Yeah.
It was on videotape.
Disgusting.
I think you would have saw it.
All I know is
If
Page,
you watch either of these shows, nobody watches videotape.
Page storms into the NWO locker room and slams the door behind him. But thankfully, there's a camera in there too. He demands to know where Steiner is. They all just laugh at him. He warns them to pray. Kimberly is fine, and he leaves.
Was this the black and white locker room?
No, it was a Wolfpack. Nash,
Okay.
Nash and Luger were in there.
Facts.
He leaves. Then there's a back door, which I guess is the showers. And Steiner steps in and says, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And he's sure to clarify he never touched Kimberly. She slipped on her own.
Actually, he did touch her. He grabbed her elbow.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Well, he said he never touched her.
He lied.
Heel.
Liar. He had a girl in the showers. Her arm came out, and Steiner held up, I guess, a pair of boots.
I thought it was leather pants.
Yeah, it was
Pants,
the
I
other
see.
hot pants they were wearing in the.
I see.
Yeah.
He implied this was Kimberly with him in the showers, then he went backstage to fuck her.
So he was in the shower in his clothes.
In his gear. Yeah.
That's weird.
And she was.
You don't say.
And Kimberly was unconscious.
Well, no, she was standing there, obviously.
I see.
Somebody was.
On her arms.
Okay.
Maybe he detached her arm and just kind of, flopped it around, showing up.
No,
to
I
his
don't know,
buddies.
actually.
I don't know what the fuck's
that's
going on.
not-
This is fucking stupid.
So they go in the shower. Nash tells Vince, "You go tell Paige Steiner will accept any match he wants.
This was so great.
And after you tell him this, I want you to slap him right in the face." So Vince says, "You got it." And he goes outside, and he closes the door, and he says, "Hey, Disco." And he passes the buck.
They literally work this like they're going over a match.
Yeah.
Vince is like, go out there, and I want you to tell Steiner that DDP accepts his challenge, and then slap him. And Disco's like, slap him? And Vincent says, slap him, and then we'll be right out there. Disco says, so I'll slap him, and then you guys will hit the ring. Yeah.
So Paige goes to the ring. He calls out Steiner. Disco comes out, tells him to quit crying. You can get a match with Steiner at Super Brawl. And he slapped him, and he turned around expecting backup. He saw only an empty aisle, and he turned around, and Paige did a diamond cutter and left.
I loved it.
This is all one segment, by the way. There's no like commercial breaks in or anything in here.
No.
So Vince goes back to the NWO. I think he got credit for a job well done.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
they
did.
congratulated him for being
Yeah,
smart.
everyone said he's getting smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Paige got into his car and left.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention in the Ric Flair interview, he called him Virgil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vinny made note of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just remembered that.
Where was DDP going?
Yeah, where's
hospital.
Kimberly? Oh, is that it?
Went to
Is
the
that-
hospital, I guess.
Okay.
Is that where she was?
She was knocked out earlier that afternoon.
I thought she was in the shower with Steiner. You tell me that was a work?
I think there was another Nitro girl.
To be fair, there may be more than one Kimberly. Common name. In
Hadn't
his
thought of
Nitro
that.
debut, Lash LaRue versus Kidman.
Lash LaRue. What, Vinny? What's wrong with Lash LaRue?
This match,
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
He was not very good, Brian.
What are you talking about?
he had Canyon syndrome, where everything he does is going to be a big move or a finish. And the rare occasions when he has to do like a punch or a chin lock, it's awful.
Listen,
His high spots were good. His transitions sucked.
There were
Lash,
none.
Lash LaRue,
For himself a couple times.
Lash LaRue was a power plant guy. And by that standard, he was pretty good. And he'd done some B shows, and this was his graduation up to Nitro. And I guess they liked him enough in this match with Kidman that he got a deal. He got a match. He got a contract out of this match.
Well, good for him.
He was all right.
He's out there with his bowl cut. He does 18 finishers, then a chin lock. Does this horrendous punch combo and lays Kidman out. And the whole thing, this is like watching a guy play a video game in a wrestling, playing a wrestling video game. He does all his cool moves, and then his energy bars out, and he's got to do just the boring stuff, and the boring stuff sucks.
So a lot of wrestling nowadays.
Yes. Does a lot of rest holds. The crowd gets bored, starts chanting that Green Bay sucks. Goes on and on. I remember this somehow. Lash Leroux's finish is the fireman's carry Michinoku driver. Dana Brooke does it now. This is his first match on Nitro, and he just had to get his shit in. And he hits this move. He hits his finish, and the first time we see it, Kidman kicks out.
Yep.
He killed his own finish because he had to get it in.
What, did they call it his finish? How'd you know it was his finish?
Because I remember Lash Leroux from 20 years ago.
Well, it wasn't his finish yet.
I guess not. Clearly.
Well, to be fair, there was a top rope powerbomb that Kidman delivered to Lash LaRue, and his head bounced off the mat very, very hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hope he wasn't hurt. So Kidman, as always, can't get powerbombed, hits a facebuster, hits a shooting star press, and wins. A very bad match, I wrote.
Oh.
I agree with Vinny.
What do you think, Aaron?
It was okay, but I would just call it a moves match. That's all it was. It was just move, move, move. Transition, move, trip, fall over yourself, pick him up, hit another move, pin.
That's perfect,
it's
actually.
going a little too fast.
That was a way better review than yours, Vinny. move, trip and fall down over yourself, move.
Actually, that's something one of my matches.
Actually, it does. Was he wearing velour?
I had a better haircut.
That's true.
They found Heenan. Bobby Heenan was supposed to take over on commentary, but had not been seen. And it turns out he was at the dunk tank. It's cold. It's very cold by this point. You can see everyone's breath. Heenan declares, Eric Bischoff, I have no beef with you. I'm going to try and make peace. I'm going to hand you these baseballs so that no one can dunk you anymore. And he walks up to him, but then he trips, and he falls.
Slips on the ice.
Slips on the ice, he says, and he falls into the target and hits it, and Bischoff goes into the drink.
It was awesome.
Yeah, Heenan good at comedy, it turns out.
Yeah.
Physical comedy. I was afraid he was actually going to slip on the ice and kill himself, but he didn't.
Unfortunately, the little platform that Bischoff was on did not cooperate, and it went off like 3 seconds after the trip.
I'd given up on the dunk tank by this point.
Dude, there was no platform. He just sat on it and slid off every now and then. It was fake. It was a worked dunk tank.
There was a platform, was there not?
Yeah, did he jumped off of?
It bent.
No.
Yes, it did.
Okay, I'm not going to go back and argue this.
I'll put it up on that TV right now. Who is Hulk Hogan's Harley Davidson idiot friend? I keep forgetting.
I believe it's Chuck Zito.
That's
Yes.
right.
They did, Hulk Hogan and a Sly Stallone lookalike are in a limousine in the sun here in the middle of this nighttime
Just
show.
mumbling to each other.
Yes.
They did a second segment and confirmed it. I think they called him Chuck. I
It was
vaguely remember
Chuck
his name.
Zito. That's right.
Chuck Zito.
They're fucking sitting there.
They're just chatting.
Yeah.
At
They're-
a gas station, I think.
They run down David Flair and appear to be stalking him, but we never actually saw David, so we had to take them at their word for it.
Yeah, they were either at a gas station or they were definitely going to a gas station. They may have
were
been
there.
going. They may have been going to a number of gas stations.
Well, they were watching him pump his gas and commenting the gas hose is thicker than his arms.
Yes.
Okay, so stop right there. Did they not find him at a gas station at the end of the show?
No, they found him at a gym.
Oh, there was at a gym? Okay.
He was going to the gym.
Okay, so they're
walking-
following him.
Yes.
All right.
Tailing him.
Tailing him, yeah.
Mean Gene interviewed Booker T backstage.
So you tell me David Flair didn't notice a fucking limo had been following him for 2 fucking hours as he drove around town?
That's right.
It's Charlotte. I assume everyone has limos.
Paparazzi, you know.
Yes.
It's a mode of transportation for Charlotte, right?
So Mean Gene.
Charlotte?
Yeah, that's where Flair's from.
Hey, all I know about Charlotte is that Dusty's there and the Horsemen are there.
Right.
So there must be limos everywhere.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. You idiot.
Mean Gene, he goes to interview Booker T backstage, and he asks a question, and Booker says, "Well, Gene," and then Mean Gene interrupts and asks a different question.
Yeah.
This happened like 4 times. Mm-hmm. I'm stunned Booker didn't punch him.
Let's talk about the most important part of this interview, okay? I'm glad I got 4 of us here, 2 over there.
Sure.
Okay.
That's 5, by the way.
So Gene is trying. There's 6 here. Someone's on the phone. Aaron, Craig.
Sure, but there's 5 here.
Yes.
That's
so.
6.
He's there.
Booker T says,
Yes.
and I quote, he goes, Gene, where I'm from, when you get caught flipping, you get dank.
That's right.
You dig?
I'm so glad you did that.
Who the fuck can explain this to me? I checked the Urban Dictionary. I Googled it in a number of different
I'm
ways.
sure he didn't say ganked at the end.
He may have.
It might have been gang.
Now, when he said, the first thing he said was,
What was that, Aaron?
Hey, I thought I heard gang, and I thought that would be like more would sweat him because if he's talking about that prison culture or whatever.
Gank.
Ganked,
yeah.
Okay.
Now,
killed.
when you said caught flippin',
Yes.
I thought he said when you get called flippant.
No, when you get caught flipping.
I didn't remember when
You're
this
so
happened.
white. Okay, ganked. Thank God. Okay, ganked. All right. A process in which a group of characters gang up on one or more players that do not have a chance to defend themselves. This is video games.
Sure, but
Or ganking to kill, steal, beat, grab, and yank.
Yikes.
why did your eyes go like that?
Well, I mean, kill, steal, and beat seems pretty bad, but then you grab and yank them?
That's bad.
Not in that order.
No, that's the order.
Oh.
Okay, so let me translate here.
Brian starts with that.
Okay? So what Booker was trying to say is, Gene, where I am from, when you get caught flipping, you get kill, steal, beat, grab, and yank.
Wow.
All right, I got it.
Anyway.
What does he mean flipping? I got to look that up now?
Well, yeah, it's switching teams, I guess.
No.
No?
Huh?
It's flipping. You know, going from one to the
Urban
other.
Dictionary. I'm going to find flipping.
I know what tripping is.
A less severe version of the word fucking.
I see.
You get caught fucking up.
So you get grabbed and yanked.
When you
you're-
get caught fucking, you're going to get killed and yanked.
Right, no.
Yes, that's exactly. That was a translation of Booker T's promo right there.
Huh.
Don't question this, Craig.
I,
All right, are we done with this interview?
far be it
Booker
from
said
me.
he had a match. He talks about Bret Hart the whole time, but he's got a match with Disco Inferno at Super Brawl.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell come out for a promo, and Scott immediately uses the word mesmerized.
That's right.
He was mesmerized.
Said the last time he had wrestled Paige, the stipulation had been that if he won, he'd get to show Kimberly what it was like to be with a real man. Mm-hmm. I left the word with there, and it says what it was like to be a real man. I don't think that's right. He insisted Kimberly was flirting with him backstage. Paige needed to step aside and let nature take its course. That made me laugh. This led to a very odd but very fun match.
Yes.
Oh, it was great.
Scott Steiner versus Chris Jericho.
Love this match.
Jericho was not afraid to potato Scott Steiner.
That's clear.
Yeah.
Like, if I were in the ring with this guy, I wouldn't lay one finger on him. Jericho's just kicking him in the face.
That
and
moonsault with the
Yeah.
Armada,
Brutal.
when Scott Steiner screams out in pain on the landing. A lot of fun. And the other star of this, by the way, is Buff Bagwell,
yes.
who was great. He's interfering frequently, and at one point on the floor, Jericho stumbles past him, and Buff holds up his hands, and he says, "I'm innocent." And then he pokes Jericho in the eye, turns to the camera and says, "I guess I'm guilty."
He's a great heel.
He was awesome. So the match continues. Jericho,
is in control.
he hits a super kick.
Yes.
He lays out Scott Steiner. He's got him at his mercy.
He's winning on him.
He's very much winning on him. And then goes for the walkout.
Yeah, I'm going to leave now.
What the hell was this? So he goes to walk out. He runs into Saturn in a dress. Saturn throws him back in, and Steiner hooks the recliner and wins.
We must add that when Saturn threw him back in the ring while wearing a dress, he looked at the camera and he said, "Life's a drag."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's embracing it.
How did a line that terrible not make it on Raw?
I don't know, but I was cool with it. He's way better in a dress. It's a huge improvement for Saturn.
Nash, Luger, and Liz come out for a promo.
Okay, this was the dumbest thing, like, ever.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Nash and Luger take off their hats, they pull their hair ties out, they unveil their golden locks. Nash says they want hair on the line, fine. At Super Brawl, we will put Liz's hair on the line against Rey Mysterio's mask. Liz is like, what? What do you mean, guys? And Nash says, don't worry, baby. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, okay.
That's how it went.
That is exactly how it went.
The only thing you're leaving out is Nash's line about the Star Trek movie with a sexy bald woman in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even if she does get shaved, she'll still be hot. They
Sure.
killed the stip.
This was an utter mockery of a promo to set up an utter mockery of a match, which is going to unmask the legendary Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yes,
Right.
it's terrible.
It's fucking bullshit.
It could not have been worse.
No, it could not have been worse. Not to mention, why was Rey making the challenge?
Yes.
And the heels are laughingly accepting it and putting a woman's hair on the line.
Not only that, but they had mentioned, how about you guys put Liz's hair on the line, and then they accepted that.
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
One.
Cat comes out for a promo, demands to be referred to as the greatest of all time, dares anyone to come fight him. They cut back to the Wolfpack locker room, where they say, hey, Scott, Cat's calling you out. And it's Scott Norton, and he's pissed. And he goes down to the ring. God damn, I love this match.
Yes, sir.
Scott Norton versus the Cat. Best match of 1999.
Absolutely.
Here's what happened, everyone. For 10 wonderful minutes, the best 10 minutes of my day, Scott Norton tortured the Cat. He beat the shit out of him. He slammed him left. He slammed him right. No-sold everything Cat did.
He skinned the cat.
He actually did. He skinned the Cat. He chopped him. He chopped Cat till his chest was red. If you're not familiar with the Cat, folks, he ain't white. He chopped this guy red. He beat him and beat him and beat him. Hit a powerbomb and won.
It was a thing of beauty.
Oh, it was glorious.
Fans loved it.
This is the other key to this. The fans hated the Cat. And they were into this beating as much as I was.
Yes.
They chanted Pussycat. They laughed at him as he screamed in pain. Every time Scott Norton no-sold his offense, they laughed more. So, Cat was doing like blatant low blows and dragging Sonny Ono in the ring trying to get DQ'd. It didn't work.
He no-sold a low blow.
Yeah. And finally he hit a powerbomb and won. I watched this entire match with a huge smile on my face, and when it was done, if I'd had more time, I'd have rewound it and watched it again. Wonderful. Mean Gene brings Goldberg out for an interview. Gene asks about the streak. Goldberg says, the past is the past, so forget it, because I have. And Gene asks about Bam Bam Bigelow, and Goldberg says he's not an extremist, he's not the beast from the East, he's just next. And everyone roars, and that was it. Great. He made his point and he was done. Malenko and Flair are throwing balls at the dunk tank.
I love this. They're throwing balls, and finally Flair's just like, fuck it. He walks over, pushes a button, Eric falls in.
Mm-hmm.
And Bischoff pops out of the ice cold water and screams, I'll get the last laugh, Flair. Where's your kid?
I gotta say, Eric Bischoff dedication to this, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It was
frankly,
live.
He couldn't even put warm water in it because it would have steamed up. You would have
Well,
saw it on
That's
camera.
true.
I mean, there's also
that. You're right.
the fact that if you would have done a pre-tape, you could have got this whole thing done in 5 minutes.
Sure.
And then get him inside. This was not a pre-tape.
No, you could see it, I'm sure, in the off-camera segments he was going inside. But you could see it getting colder and colder throughout the night.
Yeah.
Let's see. Scott Hall versus Chris Benoit in the main event.
You know how bizarre it was to hear Michael Buffer do his introduction for Chris Benoit?
Yes.
Well, I didn't pay much attention to that part, frankly.
I did. He claimed he was 6 feet tall.
Oh.
That's a lie.
He claimed he was the master of the cripple crossface.
That's also a lie.
Well, before that point, what I noted was he called this a special heavyweight eliminator match
Well, he did say Benoit was 220.
for a title shot against Bret Hitman Clark.
Clark.
And then he talked about Scott Hall.
How
coming
many
out-
times did he do that?
All of them.
That was not the first time.
Did anyone ever correct him?
Hell no.
Why would you?
He talked about Hall's disdain for formal rules.
He's professional. You don't have to correct him.
So Bret Hart, who I presume is a different person than Bret Clark, he joins the commentary desk, and he was awesome.
That's when Brett puts on glasses. He's Brett and Clark.
The mild-mannered reporter
Yes.
for the Calgary Herald. Yes. So Bret says, even with my severe groin injury, I'm still much better than Scott Hall or Chris Benoit. I will defeat them at Super Brawl, and I want to say hello to my cat Smokey.
That's where Natty got it, I guess.
I guess. He doesn't understand why Flair's holding a grudge just because I beat him. They're doing this match. Disco interferes. Mongo comes out to take care of Disco.
Oh my God, Mongo. He gets worse every fucking day. And it was horrible to begin with.
I enjoyed watching him absolutely brutalize Disco Inferno.
He fucking goes down there, he beats up Disco, he drags him backstage, he opens the door, there's Arn Anderson in a tire iron.
Yeah.
He throws him in, shuts the door, you hear screaming. That was a crime. He got ganked.
At one point, he threw Disco on the ground, and Disco was face down, and he slapped Disco in the back of the head. It was massively loud.
Dude.
He did not pull that slap.
So they go back to the match. Brett repeats one more time he's going to beat either Hall or Benoit. He's going to enjoy doing it, and he makes his exit. So, shouldn't be a surprise. This was a very good wrestling match. I took great joy in Scott Hall hooking an abdominal stretch and being very, very sneaky about grabbing them ropes.
Yes.
Finally, Benoit makes his comeback. Nash hits the ring. Benoit fights him off, but Hall grabs Benoit, hits the Razor's Edge for the win. So yes, we're going to get Scott Hall versus Bret Hart at Super Bowl for the U.S. title. That's weird.
They teased Benoit versus Bret and took it away from us.
Yeah.
Now it is
That's true.
Bret Hart versus Scott Hall. Yeah.
And finally, Hogan identifies the man in the limo as Zito. Now, Zito looks like Stallone anyway. So I'm sure he knew this. He starts imitating Rocky and calling Hulk Thunderlips.
Well, he's Italian.
That too. So Hulk says Flair's in Minnesota. We are here in Charlotte to ruin his life. They say David's parking in Flair's spot at the gym, and they go to follow him in. Back at Nitro, we see the Horsemen watching this on a monitor, and Flair starting to freak out. Then Hogan and Chuck decide, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't film our assault on this man. And they cut the camera off,
You just now figured that out, you idiot?
and the show goes off the air.
actually.
Well, it's Hulk Hogan and Chuck Zito, Brian. I believe they just figured that out.
Yeah, you never film your crime.
Yeah.
Aaron, what'd you think of this show? When it was over, did you regret not watching it when you were 7 years old in the mid to late 90s?
This show, other than the Scott Norton thing, was completely boring to me. And there was just too many skits.
There were a ton of skits.
And the things with Hogan, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I had to keep stopping, rewinding to try to listen to him. It's like, just speak loudly or, coherently. I don't know why.
Or tape it again?
Or just something. I mean, whenever he's in the ring on the microphone, you can hear him just fine. But when he's talking in a backstage promo or very soft like this, and Vito, and I'm like, dude.
Well, they were being sneaky, so
They're in a car.
I understand that.
In a limo.
Why do they have to be sneaky?
I'm just saying.
The cameraman Mel. He just kept calling
Cameraman Mel. We did not mention Cameraman Mel.
He did keep talking to Mel.
filming us all day, Mel. Then good job, Mel. Oh wait, we shouldn't film this, Mel.
Well, that was Nitro.
It did take me the entire show to find out what in the fuck was going on with Hulk Hogan, Mel, and Chuck Zito.
Yeah.
And finally at the end, I figured out they're going after David Flair.
David Flair.
Yeah.
This is why Bischoff was taunting Flair. Where's your kid?
This shouldn't be that hard to figure out.
No.
If that's the main angle on your show.
Yeah.
Zito used a line about David Flair that Buddy Wayne used to use. Man, that guy's got a string hanging from his sleeve. Oh, that's his arm.
Ah ha ha!
Yeah. I think Hogan referred to them as those arms are like the little white things that you use to, I don't know if he was calling them ropes, but for when you're doing endurance or something like that.
Called him the tag rope, compared it to the ring post.
Yes.
He called him
Yeah,
tag
no,
rope.
Vito did, and then Hogan's like, mine's better.
He did say my joke was better. That is a quote.
Yeah, they were pretending to be real people, but it was bullshit.
They're incapable of doing that.
I don't believe that Hogan's a real person ever.
No. Brian, do you have my music ready?
Oh!
This is going to be very boring, but we have to do it for the sake of completion. Because frankly, the finishes on the show are mostly pretty good. The finishes on this show were clean pin, pin any hardcore match, clean pin, submission after loads of interference, clean pin, and pin after distraction.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That was
a lot of clean finishes here on this show.
Tons of them.
Aaron, do you watch this show every week, or was this the first one you'd watched in forever?
For WCW, it's been a while since I watched it. When I first got the network, I started watching a lot of them from 96, 97. I watched a couple from 99 and 2000, and I don't know, man.
Man, well, you know what? You chose a decent show because usually they're about 5 times worse than this one.
That's
bad.
true.
Oh, no, I listen to your guys' thing every Tuesday, so I know how bad they can be.
All right, let's talk about this Raw show.
Monday Night Raw, number 297, also February 1st, 1999.
We are 3 seconds into the show when we get our first reference to a big red retard.
Insane.
3 seconds into this show.
Well, let's just go over this first segment here. They show highlights of Mankind defeating The Rock in the empty arena match to regain the WWF title. This includes the shots where there was a camera mounted on the forklift that Foley hated so much. Didn't know about it until he watched it on TV. Shane's having a meeting with the corporation backstage. He says Vince is in Texas trying to provoke Steve Austin into a fight. We had Kane being called a big red retard. We had Test saying Kane needs a Midol. He's always in a bad mood. And then Terry Reynolds is there and the big boss man calls her a bitch for no reason at all. What a fine start to this show.
Yeah. Raw, baby.
Corporation hits the ring. Shane says he's got this under control, sends everyone to the back. He explains if Austin lays a finger on Vince, he'll be fired on the spot. Why don't they just fire him right now? If they can do that.
Contract. Yeah.
Contract.
Although I would think that if the contract says if you lay one hand on a guy and you'll be fired. Like, if you go out of your way and explain on national television that you were provoking the man in an attempt to get him fired,
Sure.
not sure that's going to hold up in court. But I'm no lawyer.
So there is a cage hanging above the ring. Shane orders it lowered and goes in his promo. As the cage lowers, we see X-Pac is sitting on it.
Yep.
They cut backstage. DX is brawling with the corporation. Shane now realizes he is trapped in a cage with X-Pac.
Well, first he's cutting a promo on X-Pac.
Yes.
If I get my hands on this guy, I'm going to turn him to dust. And the cage lowers, and there he is. I was just joking, says Shane McMahon.
Well, he said that at first. Then he did not back down from this fight. He removed his jacket and was ready to go. X-Pac beat his ass. Chyna runs down, just runs into the cage. Nothing stopping her. She confronts X-Pac. He refuses to hit her, but when he turns around, Chyna low blows him, and they beat him up, and Shane and Chyna leave together.
Michael Cole is talking over Shane during Shane's entire promo on X-Pac at the end of this segment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you just shut up?
Like throughout the show, there would be somebody doing a promo, and if he wasn't talking over them, you could hear him holding his breath and waiting for the moment that guy had to breathe in,
Yes.
and then he would say something to get out there.
No
he had
dead
to
air.
fill 0 dead air. They aired if you never saw the 1999 WWF Super Bowl commercial, it's really funny. Mm-hmm. It's Rock and Austin and Taker and Mankind and talking about what family friendly entertainment they provide, and it's all about putting smiles on faces or whatever. And meanwhile, throughout Titan Tower, there's just chaos and havoc and war. Vince is in Texas with the Stooges.
I got to say something about this. So he's in a Texas bar. He's looking for Steve Austin.
Correct.
He has the Stooges with him. They're in Texas, so they're dressed as cowboys. Of
course.
Sure. Okay. Vince McMahon, here's the thing. Like, everybody talks about, well, you can have baby faces and heels. There's got to be shades of gray. You got to have, three-dimensional characters. You've got to have this, all of this bullshit. Vince McMahon is the most one-dimensional character. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Vince is an asshole boss.
Yes.
He has 2 stupid friends. They go to Texas. They dress as stupid. I know the irony. They go to Texas. They're dressed as stupid cowboys. Vince goes right up and he says to them, I know how to handle these kinds of people.
He says.
It's so one-dimensional. And he's the best heel character in the history of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Why do people have to overthink this shit?
I don't know.
He's so awesome.
So he points out they look ridiculous in their cowboy costumes,
Which they did.
which they did, which was the point.
Oh, yeah.
And they go into the bar, just a random bar in Victoria, Texas. Excuse me. Have you seen Stone Cold Steve Austin in here today? And she replied, I reckon not.
It's like Aaron looking for Dave in San Jose.
Exactly, yes.
Going in every gym.
Vince is appalled someone would actually use the term reckon, makes fun of her for it, so she takes out a baseball bat and chases them away.
These skits were awful,
Yeah.
No,
but they were funny.
they were great. Billy Gunn versus Val Venus.
So
Oh boy.
it's Val Venus versus Billy Gunn with Ken Shamrock on commentary.
Yes.
That sounds like a dumb idea.
So the story here, Shamrock hates Billy because Billy mooned his sister, and he hates Val because Val fucked his sister. Right?
Yes.
That's what happened.
So he's ranting on about how he tried to warn, who, by the way, she doesn't have a name yet. She's just his sister.
Yes.
He's ranting on about how he tried to warn her to stay away from
She's
guys
like
like
the
this
Sandman.
in that way only.
Sure.
She should be wrapped in barbed wire.
I don't think
No. No, she should not. So he's going on about how he tried to tell her not to date guys like this. And
Yeah, Ken's gimmick is he's a musclehead older brother who
Yeah.
thinks that he gets to make the decisions for her.
right.
I'm going to tell her what to do.
Can you imagine being this guy's friend? I mean, he won't let you have an opinion, number one. You take him to an establishment and he snaps and you get thrown out. You try to reason with him and it's his way or the highway. This guy is a bad friend.
Have we ever mentioned what a terrible commentator Michael Cole is?
Oh, every day.
Often.
Michael Cole turns to Ken Shamrock and said, this is, I swear to God, this is what he said. Have you considered that your sister's relationship with Val might be consensual? Might be?
Yeah.
How creepy is this?
I'm really hoping it is.
Please be. I don't want to watch a show where it's not.
Listen, to his credit, Ken Shamrock's acting in this storyline is the most realistic and passionate of his entire career.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So he's channeling something real?
Maybe he had a sister and there was some porn star that
Yeah.
fucked her once and he's just method acting.
Yeah, look that up.
I don't know.
So Lawler is blatantly trying to antagonize Shamrock, saying, you know, in that video, Val's hands were all over your sister's body, soaping her up. He said, if
He's
I were
worried
you,
about her hands.
I should have transcribed this entire show word for word. If I were you, he says, I'd be tearing the hair out of his pornographic head. So eventually, Val is beating the shit out of Billy Gunn, which we'll get to in a moment. And he stops to do his hip swivel, and Shamrock can take no more, and he hits the ring, and he hits Val with a chair for the DQ.
Yes.
After saying he wouldn't touch him.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Billy gets the chair. Val
the chair.
thinks Billy hit him
Yes.
for the second week in a row.
Yes.
So Val does not watch the show.
No.
Val has no friends.
No.
Sure.
Val has no fuck buddies in the area that tell him what happens on this show. He's just a fucking idiot.
So Billy gets his ass beat, loses by DQ, gets his ass beat again, and is left laying again. I need to do a project. I need to go back to the last tag match the Outlaws had since Billy's singles push and count how often he is laid out at the end. Because it's got to be like 90%.
Well, Vinny, if you recall, you've been talking about this Billy Gunn Intercontinental title deal. Okay. From The Observer this week,
Yes.
1999. The original plan was for Billy Gunn to win the Intercontinental title at the Rumble. But Gunn has been a problem of late, and it was felt going through with the change under those circumstances would send a bad message about the company condoning his behavior. So instead, he had to get the ankle lock here. He's supposed to be in a three-way on the February 14th show. That was changed as well. But he is still in line for a major singles push. They may be putting the three-way for the Intercontinental title at Mania.
Okay.
So he's been a dick.
We'll just remember all that.
Yes.
Backstage.
In the next segment, I learned a few things. First thing, little people are not only property
Yes.
that can be bought and sold, but also children,
Yeah.
even though they're full grown.
Was this more offensive than Big Red Retard?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, well, here's what happened. Max Mini's backstage. I only know this because they put a graphic saying Max Mini because it was just a short person with no mask.
Yeah, he's randomly unmasked.
Just in street clothes.
They did
Mankind's
Trump
talking.
Nitro.
Mankind is talking to somebody. I don't know who this guy was.
His owner.
Yeah,
Apparently. And Mankind says, I will buy this human being from you
yes,
for the lump sum of $487 in cash.
that's right. And we have a trafficking angle here on
Yes.
on Raw.
Yes. And so
He
the guy
wants to
said,
rent it.
What was that?
I think he said, "What? Do you want to rent him?" And Mankind was like, "Yeah." You know.
so it wasn't a sale. It was,
It was a rental.
That is trafficking.
Vinny is actually even more appalled that it was a rental than a sale.
I don't know why that's worse, but it feels worse. At least you like if you're buying.
Maybe he's just getting him for a while to see if he really likes him, and then he can come back and buy him later.
So it's not a forever home.
Sure.
Okay. So Mankind gives the guy $487, and he carries Max Mini away. And who knows what happened? We never saw him again.
Seen again.
Maybe he made a film with Val.
They go to commercial. They come back. Rock's on the phone with Vince, and it's a split screen, so we see both of them. Mankind's also a retard now. This whole segment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Buying little people.
He's a big fat retard.
Buying people, big red retards, big fat retards, all in like 20 seconds of TV time. This was jarring to watch in 2018. Kevin Kelly interviews Deborah. She said, this is not an exact quote, but it's
No,
close.
I got the exact quote.
Okay.
My body means business
Sure.
as well as pleasure.
Okay.
Worst pickup line ever.
So
if
she
you're a man.
is a hooker.
Well, she said
Right?
that. Yeah. She also said that Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, no one would beat them for the tag titles because she's hot.
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Meteoric rise.
speaking of pickup lines,
She knew nothing about the saltpeter.
speaking of pickup lines, Mark Henry comes out and says, again, for like the fifth time, I'm quoting here, I think me and you should hook up.
Yeah.
That never works.
It didn't work here.
No.
Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart came out and beat him up. That was it. Mankind is giving investment advice to Kurgan backstage. Kurgan says, I have no money. Mankind gives us some cash.
It was
Imagine
so
that.
dumb. So Kurgan's a professional wrestler in the oddities
Yes.
on national television
Every week.
He's got no money.
No money.
Sure.
Wears the same gear every week.
That's true.
D'Lo comes out with PMS. They tell him, that's what they're called.
I know. It's still funny, though.
They told him, we need you to teach another pig a lesson. D'Lo says, when is this crap going to stop? Haven't I done enough to prove how sorry I am for making you lose your baby? Jacqueline says, we're not done with you yet. At which point Jerry Lawler on commentary says, you skank. What was this show?
It was a Vince Russo show.
Jesus.
It was written by somebody who obviously hates women.
Clearly. So Terry says Bossman called her a bitch. Now D'Lo will make Bossman his bitch. D'Lo's not happy to hear this. We get D'Lo Brown versus Big Boss Man. It goes 2 minutes. D'Lo hits the frog splash. PMS distracts the ref. Bossman hits the Bubba Slam. Ref turns around and counts 3.
PMS high fives.
PMS high fives. Bossman continues to beat D'Lo until Henry makes the save. So are Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown babyfaces now? Because they're feuding with the corporation.
Yes.
Who are definitely babyfaces.
I'm pretty sure they're baby
They're
faces.
feuding with Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, who are heels.
Sure.
China screwed him. She's a heel.
Yeah.
I believe they're baby faces.
I'm pretty sure PMS is a heel faction.
Quite certain they want us to boo them.
Sure.
No. Pat Patterson's at the bar hitting on women and getting hit in the nuts for his troubles.
This was an absolutely hilariously awful skit.
Yes.
They're hanging around a pool table. It's two women who, like, they legit just had to have gone to a bar and found
Absolutely.
two women.
Absolutely.
They're not actors. They're not wrestlers. They're fucking horrible. God bless them. And Pat Patterson is trying to pick up these two women. And so one of them is supposed to low blow him.
Yes.
And she basically lifts her knee in the air, misses him by 6 miles. He grabs his nuts. It was so bad.
I just figured she used the pool cue on him.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
No, it was supposed to be a knee.
Did we mention where he's sitting on her and he turns his back to her to Briscoe and says, I think it's working.
Yeah.
She need him in the nuts. Blue Meanie came out to dance, allegedly as an audition for a TV show about male dancers.
That's what they said.
He was going to be the Raw dancers a la the Nitro girls.
Yes. The Raw Boy, they called him.
Right.
Goldust came out and kicked him in the balls. That was the segment.
Yeah.
Tony is mystified.
Fuck.
Backstage,
Francois Petit is back.
I forgot how he was the biggest star in the 90s.
He was all over the place.
He's adjusting D'Lo's spine after Bossman beat him up. Mark Henry is giving him a speech about how, listen, it's not your fault that Terry lost her baby. And Francois Petit stops and says, baby?
Whoopsie.
And he explains he was examining Terry. The chiropractor says, no, she was never pregnant. D'Lo pops up, outraged, and he says, You'd better not kayfabe. You'd better start shooting with me here.
Yeah.
The doc says Terry was never pregnant. D'Lo was appalled.
So this fucker doesn't watch TV either.
No.
D'Lo's been suffering for weeks because of this ruse, and Francois Petit knew nothing about it.
No. Or didn't care. At least he cared here.
Didn't want to tell him.
Draws versus Kurgan. Draws demanded the oddities leave the ring. The announcers were bragging about the Royal Rumble breaking pay-per-view records. I had dirt-level expectations for this match, and it exceeded them. It was better than I thought it would be.
Okay.
It went 2 minutes. Draws hits a broom handle to the throat, and then, as they called it, a football tackle from the top rope,
Yeah.
which indicates they don't watch football either.
Right. They don't have ropes in football.
They don't.
Do they have those in the XFL?
They might. I was
Probably.
going to say, they might be coming back. So, Draws wins with a shoulder tackle. He continues the beating until Golga and Giant Silver return to make the save.
Hey, Aaron, do you watch football?
That's right.
Are you excited for the XFL?
You know, it should be interesting. I did watch it back in
Back in the day?
2001 when that came out. I think so.
Man, oh
Hey,
man.
some of it was entertaining, but
Yeah,
I
that-
just remember I watched the first game and it got really boring, and I believe they had to switch to another game because it was a blowout or something, and that was the last time I watched it.
Pretty sure everybody watched the first game.
I didn't.
Well, I know you didn't.
I didn't.
You don't like sports.
No.
We had my favorite skit on the show. Vince has taken the Stooges out for barbecue. So they're sitting at the table. There's a huge spread of food, including like a 5-gallon bowl of baked beans.
Thank you. At least.
This is just enormous.
Massive.
There's beans there for 50 people. And Patterson and Briscoe are chowing down. There's barbecue sauce all over their hands and faces. Vince is sitting back. He's salty.
Disgusted.
Their plan to find Steve Austin and pick a fight is failing. So he's looks at this food. He can't believe the Stooges are eating this. And he says, "What is this?" And he says, "That's brisket." Vince, he said, "Try some."
It's good.
Vince takes a bite and he spits it out. What is this? Briscoe just does a 180. Waitress, get over here. This is Mr. McMahon. He's from Greenwich, Connecticut. He deserves better food than this. So I'm, of course, thinking this is the part where the waitress picks up the 5-gallon bowl
Yes.
of baked beans and dumps it over Briscoe's head.
Exactly.
The waitress picks up a single-serving little paper boat or tray of beans. There's about 8 beans in there, and she dumps it only on his cowboy hat. And she walks away. Here's my theory. They planned this whole thing with all the food and the beans and the big finish, and the waitress said, "Well, who's going to clean up the beans after you guys leave?" And they didn't have an answer, and she said, "I'm not dumping those beans out. I got to clean them up." And so she dumped the small serving instead.
Huh.
Yeah,
Why not?
that was that. Midian and Viscera and Undertaker versus the Brood. Undertaker was technically in the match, but spent the entire time in his flaming throne on the stage.
Yeah, this was 1999. Undertaker had been telling everyone he was going to retire soon. His body's all banged up. He doesn't know much longer he can go.
Sure.
So they're doing this match. So it's in reality a 3-on-2 handicap match, but the 2 very clearly outweighed the 3 when you think about it. Christian did a frog elbow here in 1999 when Mark Briscoe was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And then the Acolytes hit the ring for the DQ. They're beating up the Brood. Taker strolls down. Refs come down to break it up, but the Brood attack the refs, throw them out of the ring, and then lay down and say, "Come on, guys, give it to us." So the beating continues. And Farouk picks up Gangrel, hits a Dominator right onto his head.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Jesus. They put a noose around his neck, and Taker puts his hands on Gangrel's head, a laying on of hands, and they throw him over the rope and hang him, which I guess you can hang a vampire.
Sure.
And
Sure.
the crowd certainly didn't love this.
I don't know if it'll work.
You can
No,
try.
it doesn't work.
But you can hang them.
Yeah, the crowd just had zero idea what to make of this. They had no idea
I
what was
didn't
going
either.
on. Yeah.
Well,
I was
the,
baffled.
Yeah.
the Brood were literally the lesser of the 2 evils here.
Well, not anymore. Mankind walks up to Deborah backstage and says, "I brought you something for your boobs."
Yeah.
Awkward
She-
pause.
She is as baffled as the rest of us are. He says, "There's nothing wrong with them. They make me feel tingly." but I'm concerned you will catch a chest cold, which could be fatal in your case. And he bought her a sweater.
Oh, nice.
That's it.
Very nice.
So Mankind comes out for a promo. He's world champion again
That's right. He won the title at the...
in his leather mask
Yeah.
and his gross, dirty shirt and his doctor's scrub pants.
He
and
sure didn't look
sneakers.
like a champion here.
No, he looks worse every week. Rock comes out.
Which is ironic because he says, you know, I don't feel all that good right now. I don't look all that good. But the last time I checked the mirror, I looked like the WWF champion.
No, he didn't.
I was like, wrong! He looked like a weird guy
you are mistaken.
in
sir.
a weird outfit with a replica belt.
Yes. So Rock runs him down, saying, "You didn't beat me. You needed a forklift to do it."
Rock's lost his voice, still cuts a great promo.
This is the one where Cole was waiting for every time he had to inhale so Cole could say something.
Yeah.
And what did he have to say?
I don't know.
The exact same goddamn thing that Rock was saying. Like we weren't listening to the fucking Rock.
Yeah.
We were waiting to hear what Michael Cole said the Rock had said.
Yes.
This time, The Rock is catching on, and some of the people are catching on because he said, "The millions," and like 4 fans said, "Millions."
Yeah, the dozen responded at this point.
Thousands.
So Rock demanded Mankind return the $97,000. Wasn't it 100?
Well, he
Dude,
spent 3 last week.
I see. Okay, well, Mankind says now it's down to about 72. He says, "Yes, I told you I would return the cash if you gave me an empty arena match, but I changed my mind."
Yes.
What a jerk.
Higher.
He said, "Rock, you look like $1 million. You make $1 million. You were still the biggest horse's ass in wrestling." Rock's up there blatantly trying to stifle a laugh. That was awesome. So, let's see. Mankind offers him a rematch. So Rock says, "Okay, let's do a last man standing match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre." And Mankind accepted, and Rock called him retarded again.
I figured your retarded ass would say that, says The Rock. Can we get like a counter?
They did a parody of their own Super Bowl commercial, where this time they're saying, "We are not family-friendly entertainment. We use sex to sell our product." Everything just reverse. Still funny.
That was the one that didn't air.
No. Vince and the Stooges thought they had Austin trapped. Where? A firing range. Their idea is to go to Steve Austin at the firing range and pick a fight. So Austin says, okay, or Vince says, "Here's the plan. I'll go pick a fight. Austin will jump me. You guys jump him, and I'll go get the car." Stooges look at each other.
Is that better or worse than that Disco Inferno plan?
I don't know. The Stooges look at each other. They repeat it. "We'll jump Austin, and you get the car?" And Vince says, "Yeah." And one of them just says, "There's guns in there."
At the gun range, yeah.
At the gun range. So they go to break, and they come back, and the nefarious plot unfolds. Vince opens the door, and he thinks he sees Austin. But it is some other bald-headed, gun-toting Texan.
In an Austin shirt.
In an Austin shirt, conveniently. He threatened to shoot Vince, but then was kind enough to tell him what bar Austin was at.
Yep.
Road Dogg and Al Snow versus the Acolytes in a hardcore tag team match. I have so many questions.
These have jumped the shark week 2.
Why did this happen? Is there a hardcore tag team division?
No, but they agreed to team up, but, you know, it lasted a week. They had a shitty match. They whacked each other in the head with stuff.
I like when Al and, whichever, I think it was Farouk, but they brawled into the parking lot and then total darkness.
Yeah.
Like the lens cap was on.
They brawled outside, and conveniently, there was a table
In the
laid
parking
up
lot.
against the parking lot.
Yeah. Just table outside the parking lot.
Sure.
The only thing notable in this match was there's a planted fan
Yes.
who gets a cup of water and he throws it at Bradshaw.
Brent
Which,
Kremen.
by the way, who came up with that idea? Hey, get some water and throw it at him. So fucking Bradshaw turns around. I don't know if he just threw the greatest worked punch of all time or if he just knocked. He fucking brutalized this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And they
Yeah.
just move on.
Yeah.
Bradshaw killed a fan. But you know what? There's a match taking place.
If I were running a wrestling company, I don't think I'd shoot angles where wrestlers attack fans.
Sure.
Well, we had WCW doing that in 1997, and they had like 35 fans hitting the ring that year.
Yes. What a stupid business. All right. So Bradshaw, or both acolytes actually, powerbomb Road Dogg through a table and pin him. The Druids come out and clear the ring. They chase out Road Dogg, they chase out the table, and then Taker comes out, and the Druids are unmasked, and it's the Brood.
Swerve.
It was a swerve. I had no memory of this. Like, the Brood is in the Ministry now?
The only reason I remember it is because, spoiler, at Mania, they're involved in the cell match, the Taker and
Oh, yeah.
I
Boss Man.
see,
But
yeah.
nothing else of note happens, and then one of these.
Is that the one where Undertaker hangs the Boss Man?
It is.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
So
there's one thing I got to note here, which is Road Dogg goes outside afterwards. He screams at Al Snow. And Road Dogg turns on him, hits him with the chair to the back of the head.
is everyone on the show a total dick, by the way?
Now, here's what's notable about this, Vinny. This, aside from Lance Storm and ECW, this was the lightest chair shot in all of the 90s that Road Dogg gave Al Snow to the back of the head. Because if your fucking back is turned and someone doesn't know when you're going to hit them, you shouldn't hit him very hard.
No.
I bring that up because Paige is now retired because someone came up with this stupid fucking idea of, let's have a girl come back from neck surgery and we'll do a spot where she turns her back and you kick her in the fucking back as hard as you can and fuck her neck up, and now she has to retire.
Not to mention, this was 2 weeks after the Royal Rumble, where Rock hit Mankind in the back of the head with about 8 chair shots. Yeah.
My point is, good for the Road Dogg.
Yeah.
He's not a fucking idiot.
Vince found Austin.
Finally.
Austin's at the bar drinking beer.
This is the payoff, by the way.
Yeah. And Vince tries to pick a fight. I'm right here, you chicken shit. Punch me. Austin just calmly turns, looks at him, calmly turns back and drinks his beer. Eventually is goaded into at least standing up and says, "No, I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to wait till it's nice and legal and inside a steel cage." Vince keeps it up, basically repeats everything he's already said. And Austin says, "Look, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to hit you. But all these people you've been talking about when you call me a big dumb Texan and a redneck and these people, these kind of people, all that stuff, I can't guarantee what they're going to do. Y'all have a nice night."
Show Mr. McMahon a good time, he says.
That's right.
And then
He leaves. The rednecks all start walking Vince down, and they go to break, and that's it.
last week I was talking about how there were 2 cage matches in February. There was Vince versus Steve Austin, and there was Flair versus Bischoff. And even though WWE was like 10 times hotter, the Flair-Bischoff match did a better buy rate.
Right.
I gotta say, watching both of these shows, like, the build to the Eric Bischoff-Flair match is fucking way better than this one.
Isn't it Hogan and Flair?
Or Hogan and Flair.
Yeah.
Hogan and Flair cage.
Yeah.
That's way better than this build. He went to a bar. He called Austin a chicken shit. Austin didn't do anything, and then rednecks beat up Vince.
Yeah.
Now,
Apparently.
why didn't Austin attack the Stooges?
I don't know. Maybe that's in his contract.
We don't know how much you've been drinking.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Maybe he thought Patterson would outshine him.
Yeah. Triple H versus Kane in the most boring cage match of all
Oh
time.
my God! You know what the problem is? When you condition fans that every match is 3 minutes long and 85 people run in and it's
true.
all bullshit, when you do a 12-minute match
Right.
full of wrestling, it's fucking boring. And it was Kane.
It was Kane.
And I don't even know why they were wrestling. Why were these 2 guys wrestling in a cage?
Shane booked it the opening segment.
Shane booked them.
Yeah. Hunter was sure to call Chyna a big bitch in his promo. So Kane beats him up slowly forever, randomly sets off his pyro. Now they are randomly wrestling in red light. Now they are randomly wrestling in normal lights. It goes on for a long time. To make a long story short, actually there was one amazing thing here. Kane's going to climb out. Hunter yanks him back. Kane took a flat back bump from the top rope to the mat in this nothing happening cage match. That's huge for a guy like that. So X-Pac runs out to help Hunter cheat. He climbs up the cage. He is blocking Kane's exit. Chyna runs out to try to stop Hunter from leaving. She grabs his leg. He kicks her down, and he climbs out, and he wins. This match is very, very boring, as I pointed out. It sounds like the cheapest win you can think of. People were jumping up and down that Hunter beat Kane in this manner.
I could not figure out
Very good.
why they cared.
I don't know.
I don't know why China's in the corporation. I'm really not sure why the show is beating Nitro so handily.
that.
They explained it?
I guess it happened on Heat. Something along the lines of she wanted the spotlight or something like that.
Somewhere on Raw, Cole said she had taken the money.
Or money and spotlight attention. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
So one day she just
Sold out
became
her
greedy.
friends. Yes.
Wow. What a great storyline.
So, yeah, China challenged Hunter to something vague.
Yeah, we don't know. She goes, in 2 weeks, I want you at St. Valentine's Day, and then they cut away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does she want it for Valentine's
Not
Day?
over.
The pay-per-view? Are they going to have a match?
Yes, they're going
Are they going to go to dinner?
We broke up, but you still owe me chocolates.
Jesus Christ. What was this?
So that was Raw. A weird show.
Very weird.
All right, you ready for your music?
Oh, yeah. The finishes on this show were DQ due to outside interference, pin after a guy was distracted by his own managers, pin after a weapon shot, DQ due to an attack that was apparently welcomed, clean pin, I suppose, in a hardcore tag team match, cage escape thanks to abundant interference from multiple people.
That's it, baby. Man, oh man.
Wow.
Aaron, any final thoughts on this Raw show here? Was it as you remembered as a young child?
You know what? I guarantee that it seemed a lot cooler at the time.
Well, that's
Maybe
for
as a
sure.
Adolescent, seeing, like the Ministry of Darkness probably looked pretty cool back then because it'd never kind of been done before. At least,
Titties.
Yeah, a lot of sex. I mean, you didn't see that a lot, I guess, back in '99. But looking at it now, just trying to follow a lot of these storylines, there's just so much. And you get one segment, 30 seconds. Next segment, 30 seconds. Match of 2 minutes. Segment, 30 seconds. Try writing all this stuff down. You have to keep pausing the damn show and rewinding. It gets a little confusing.
Yep. And then a 12-minute random cage match with Triple H and Kane.
I think Kane got busted open, too. There was
Badly.
blood running down his arm.
Yeah, he was bleeding all over his arm. What
From
happened?
the chair shot.
That was a chair shot?
Bad chair shot.
Man, oh man.
Guess so.
Oh man, there you go. Aaron, you got any plugs here you want to do before we go? You didn't get a chance to say much. Vinny's just ranting and raving about this show here.
Oh, he had a lot to say. Hey, there's not a lot going on, but I will plug, I guess, that in a couple weeks I am going with my lovely wife to the Philippines to visit her family. So that's going to be quite a trip for me.
Oh man. The Philippines.
Philippines.
What does that mean?
Old lady.
It's a long way away.
It is a long way away. That's
Nothing
true.
against the Philippines. That's just a long-ass way away.
Sure.
That's on the other side of the
All
world.
day. Yep. Whole day of flying.
Jesus Christ. 18 hours?
Let's see. 18, 19 hours, yeah. It's basically leave one day and we arrive there 2 days later.
Holy smokes. Well, tell her we all said hi.
Oh, I will.
All right. Well, thanks so much
This
for
is
doing
great.
this here today. Any social media you want to get out there?
No, I don't really do the Facebook or any of that stuff, man.
Oh, man. Well, we don't either. All right. Well, this is Aaron, everybody. I want to thank you so much for doing the show. And don't forget, everybody, if you want to watch this show, video.f4wonline.com every Tuesday and